Alright, peeps. So, apparently, the industry silenced David's accuser. Allegedly, somebody came out and said that David had committed this crime back in 2023, but everybody sort of hushed it up. Why? We don't know. Illuminati. But anyway, like, comment, and subscribe. This video is by Hello Yassine or Yassine. Let's go.
What's popping, y'all? And it looks like David's friends are coming out, and some people were silenced. First off, there are two people I'm going to speak about in particular. One guy was trying to expose him years ago, and it just came up short. And I think he's getting a little bit too much hate on social media for how things panned out, because everybody's got hindsight is 2020. But this person I'm talking about the handle is Engleezy, and he also makes music. And he would tweet out, David, WTF, man, on September 17th. And then he would follow it up with, been trying to expose David since 2023. And he shows a Discord chat with this other guy who's playing Roblox. And he says, he only adds under girls. He says, I know, right? He says, I'm not joking either. And then he says, David only talks to women from the server. Oh, bro is simp. Haha. Engleezy is the guy that's talking. He says, yes, for real, wow. He says, they're also usually 15, 16 too. He says, what the F?
Wow.
David is a PDF. Keep in mind, this was 2023, so I think David, I don't know if he was 18 yet. Regardless, the girl that passed away, the girl that he allegedly killed, it didn't even matter what age he was, frankly. It didn't matter if he was 17. So then he also says, I screenshotted this story.
Bro,
David
how are people just skimming over the fact that he was dating a minor? Like, that is so weird, bro. People are just like, bro, like, I get it, she died, but let's just start it. He was dating a minor. What?
In 2023. I found it ironic as hell. Of course they have to have kids, David. You like that, don't you? He says, now that I'm 18, I'm going to need all the single mothers of 3 to hit my DM ASAP. You have to have 3 kids. And then this guy posts David with the 13 in 2023, by the way. And he says, David yet again with the 13. I have endless proof. It needs to be brought to light. And then he started to get a lot of hate from people that were finding out about the situation when it was identified that that girl was Celeste Rivas. And he deleted the tweet where he originally said, as you guys know, I used to be friends with David. We did songs together. We're often associated with each other. I just want to say from this day on, I will no longer associate myself with him and had no idea of the disgusting things he was doing. This guy did have a song released with him. And he said, I deleted this tweet to not confuse people. Yes, I knew about the stuff from 2023. However, most of it was brushed off. And even David himself reached out and said it wasn't true. But now it all makes sense. And this guy would post onto TikTok. He would post a TikTok video where he explains his story of everything. So I'm going to play that for you guys right now, and we're going to break it down.
Bro, I just want to ask, like, what do you mean that people tried to expose him? Did they go to the police? Did they go to authorities? Or did they just post online? Because usually they just post online. And so, oh, I tried. No, you didn't try, okay?
A lot of you guys have heard about the David situation, and a lot of you guys may know that I used to be friends with David. And a lot of you guys have seen the stuff I put on Twitter and Instagram trying to expose him, because there was some stuff that I knew since 2023 that I have tried to make public, but, you know, it's been shut down by legal team, you know, just people, friends, close friends of David. It's been shut down. They tried to, you know, I tried to post it on Twitter. They removed it. So as you can see here, I've attached some photos just of some of the stuff that's happened. There's way more, and I do hope that hopefully it comes to light. You know, I'm working with some people right now to hopefully, you know, get him exposed once and for all. Obviously as well, my prayers are going to
and now he's been exposed now,
the victims, and you know, it's a disgusting thing that happened.
Well, what the hell?
And I just want to say that I feel guilty for, you know, knowing this, and I swear to God on everything, I try my best to get it out. I've been trying since 2020.
Did you go to the police? I'm not saying you must snitch, but this is real life, bro. If you want to get justice, you need to go to the police and tell them. Can't be telling Twitter, bro.
Y'all can see the proof. I've put the proof on Twitter, Instagram, you know, y'all saw it. I tried my best. I've been trying, and
Instagram is not the authority, bruv. The fuck?
You know, it just didn't work. And I'm so glad, because, you know, everything happens for a reason. The truth will come to light. Everything happens for a reason. This dude, David, had, you know, ignored me multiple times. He would only get answer the messages from his underage fans. So, you know, it all
Bro's hurt because he ignored him. No, I feel it.
comes back to him. So I'm so glad that obviously this is being exposed. And yeah, that's it really. And, you know, we just got to hope for the best this time.
Some important context here. This guy Engleezy, when this was all going on, he was still 16 himself. And on top of that, he was in a completely different country. He's from Egypt. He lives in Egypt, I believe, as well.
I was about to say, this guy kind of sounds a bit like African, bro, the way he talks his English. Like, you can hear when Africans talk English, you kind of hear, this is an African.
And then he would go on to continue tweeting. And he said, David seen with Celeste in a picture from
Okay, even though Egyptians don't like to classify themselves as African. But anyway, let's move on.
23. And then this person asked, who's the girl? And he credits the person that originally posted this. And then, of course, he continues getting messages of people like, why didn't you say something earlier? Why didn't you say something earlier? And he posts a tweet about the reaction that David had to another guy, the one that said, yo, how old is the chick? And David says, wallahi, he's finished. I know what he leaked already. And he says, what you mean? We're literally preparing to sue him, LMAO. Lamp is about to owe $30,000. Legal team going bonkers right now. Lamp is the guy that asked the question. Lamp is the guy that said, hey, who's the girl? The infamous photo where he's with Celeste on what looks like a stream. And then Engleezy says, more screenshots I found from 2023 where it was mentioned David was speaking to other people under the proper age.
Come
he
on,
said
David.
they're all kids too. He says, PDF David. He talks to blank all the time,
David.
and she's 15. And then he posts one of the close friends stories. And then,
But this guy was just doing his nonsense right out in the open, bruv. Right out in the open, no shame. Just streaming, flipping, posting pics with 15-year-old, 14-year-old girls. That's wild.
23, this guy tried to bring it up, and David would distance himself from him. He would block him. And he would say, bro is the most out-of-touch human being on the planet. And then someone asked, yo, why'd you block Engleezy? That dude's just a troll. And he says, I assume it's about Unreleased. Now, Unreleased is a song that Engleezy had with David. They had a song together. And then he says, I love trolls. That kid is unhinged. And then, yeah, so he says, another message from David in 2023 when he blocked me after apparently my claims of him speaking to Under was false. And so, of course, this guy's getting a lot more hate. And he says, releasing a video in few hours regarding the whole David situation, addressing everything, all the rumors, etc., and clearing my name because people seem to be blaming me. Just so y'all know, when I tried to leak the David information in 2023, the label said they don't want me getting hate for it. So they said I, quote, leaked music, which is why I lost ties with David. I've been silenced for too long, and I'm so sorry for not speaking sooner. And then he makes it clear, just so you know, the first time I tried to make the David information public, I was 16. And I'm going to play you guys the clip where he addresses everything. And I do have my own experience of seeing this stuff firsthand, not the David situation, but situations similar where people were blocked from bringing things to light.
Yeah, but that's my thing. How can you blame him, bro? He tried, bro. He tried. And he didn't do the crime, bro. Why are you blaming him? Go blame David for what he did, bruv. Just leave this man alone, dog. What the hell?
Y'all have seen the current David situation. In this video, I just want to address some stuff. Now, a lot of people on Twitter are mad at me because in 2023, I tried to expose David.
Those are the same ones who didn't listen,
He
bro.
was doing at the time. And I just want to clear up that the stuff from 2023 was not about the Celeste girl that was obviously recently in the news. It's nothing to do with her. I didn't know about her. I didn't know she was 13. I maybe heard her name once or twice.
Disgusting.
I had nothing to do with her. The stuff I have from 2023 was nothing to do with Celeste. These were other girls, underage girls, that had claimed David had messaged them or had, relationships with them or, doing inappropriate things with them. And I want people to know that in 2023, I did try and bring the situation to light. And a lot of people remember, I was having a lot of shit for it. It got so bad that David's legal team had got in contact with me to remove everything. I've attached an email here that I received from his team in 2023. And basically, they removed my song with David from, streaming services because apparently I was spreading misinformation. The thing is, after that, I got in touch with David and I was like, yo, are the claims true and all of this? And he was like, he literally said, I've got it here. He said, no, it's just some people trying to get clout. There's no evidence and stuff. After that, everything was shut down. Everything, no one else came out after that. So from my point of view, you guys need to understand that it did look like they were just claims. So a lot of people are asking me, why was I promoting a song?
Yeah, but also, how was he supposed to know for sure? He wasn't there when the murder happened.
2024 and 2025 that I had with David, it's because the claims that I had in 2023 were, put on hold. It's as if if they didn't exist. I had no idea. I was told that they were false by David and his legal team. So after the whole situation happened, I actually felt bad for, you know, spreading misinformation. I thought it was all fake. Obviously, with the stuff that's happened in the past 24 hours, I realized that, you know, they're now real, and some people have come out to me and told me that, you know, it was true. Not just that, but in 2023, when I made the claims, David's legal team did not want anyone to know that David was doing this type of stuff. So basically they blamed me and said that I was leaking music, but I wasn't leaking any music. They blamed me for leaking music. I was leaking the facts. So they just said that they're gonna blame me for leaking music. That's my punishment. My song is off. That's it. And you guys need to understand that I felt terrible. I felt like I was gonna ruin his career out. You know, I felt like I was spreading misinformation for him. I felt disgusting, bro. I was like, I gave him claims that weren't true because from what it looked like to me, they weren't true. You know, they were cleared and everything. No one else came out after that. But then obviously now it's a different story. That's why I was promoting the songs in 2024, 2025. I was cool with him. I wasn't like, you know, friends with him and stuff, but I didn't have a problem with him. Little do I know that he hated me. He has me blocked on Twitter right now, and he's blocked me within the past 24 hours because I was not blocked prior to, you know, everything happening. And also, I just want to add that I live in Egypt. I don't live in the US. I can't go to NYPD. I can't go to LAPD. I can't get in touch with the FBI. The stuff that I had was just Discord messages, you know. I didn't have any solid evidence that he did it.
You know, the police on the internet too, my brother. They're not that hard to find. I'm just saying.
But now, obviously, looking at it, it makes sense. So I just wanted to clear it up because a lot of people think I'm doing it for clout and I'm doing it for this and I'm doing it for that. I'm just doing it because I felt the time was right, and I've been sitting on this information, and I'm just glad it's out now. I also want y'all to know that I was 16. I was a kid. I was scared. You know, I didn't want any legal things to happen. I didn't want my family to get involved. I was a 16-year-old kid. I was petrified. But that's it, really. I just wanted to mention that I don't have anything to do with Celeste. I'm praying for her family. There's a GoFundMe link. It'll be in my comments. I'll try pin it. And at this time, we just need to pray for the best, and hopefully this dude gets what he deserves. And I'm so sorry for not speaking about this sooner. I was scared, and I'm doing what I can now.
So here you had this guy Engleezy talk about his time with David. Not only does he show the email where he says he didn't know Celeste. So he's talking about this guy David was talking to other chicks that weren't Celeste, that were under.
So he had a variety of under minions.
18.
Minions.
And then he shows the email that he got from David's team, or they were claiming that they were David's team. We don't know how, but this is from June of 2023, so the date adds up. And he says, "Hi, Ion. I represent David, and we requested that the track entitled Afraid of Myself, which features David, be removed, not the whole album." So they asked for that track to be removed, and then he's still asking people questions. So he even asks David and says, "Is the stuff you told people or people told me about you true?" And David says, "Nope, just some MFs trying to get clout, spreading false information." And this is in 2023 that this is being said. So at this point, this guy probably thought like, yo, what? I guess I was wrong, or I guess this isn't true, or this didn't go anywhere. And that's why he got criticism for 2025. So he just thought, okay, I guess this is all wrong, and I'm wrong because nothing's happened. It's been 2 years, and he was saying it's fake. His legal team is saying it's fake. And I'll give you guys 2 examples of why this kid needs to be given a little bit more grace. Not David, this guy. There are 2 rappers. One was a rapper and one was more of a music artist. This one rapper, Tokyo's Revenge, same thing happened. Very, very, very similar. Tokyo's Revenge, he came after XXXTentacion. And I would say he also came after, who was the guy from the UK? Scarlord. So he made music that was a little bit closer to XXXTentacion. I don't want to say Scarlord because Scarlord is really, really talented vocalist, really good. But Tokyo's Revenge, he blew up off of that type of music, but his aesthetic was a little bit similar and closer to David's. And this guy, Tokyo's Revenge, he got caught and exposed for texting very, 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 very inappropriately with girls that were under.
I don't understand why these guys, there's so many women out here who just throw themselves, bruh. There's women out here sleeping with Uber drivers for free. Why don't you go and hit up those women? Why it gotta be kids, bruh?
And a bunch of people made videos about it. I don't even think I covered this when it had happened. I don't remember why. I don't know if I was on vacation or something like that. I was making videos at the time. But this may have been 2018 or 2019, something around that era. I think X had already passed, and that's partially why this guy blew up. But Dante and others, they started to get legal notices and legal threats and people saying that this is slander and we're going to take this down from the legal team that was, of course, assigned by the record label that Tokyo's Revenge was signed to. A bunch of the big hip-hop YouTubers, commentators at the time, they took down their videos. They complied, and that's how stuff like this gets thrown under the bus. Like, legal pressure gets put on these people, and these people, they're just making enough to, you know, like, make ends meet, maybe off of YouTube or whatever, so they're not going to go into a legal battle against a huge record label that's got millions of dollars. So they just comply, and then the information disappears, and then the artist gets to continue their career. Dante, on the other hand, though, he stood on it, and real huge shout out and respect to him for doing that. He stood on it, and he made another video about it, and it got bigger, and it got to the point where Tokyo's Revenge just fell back. His music career, his music is still playing. He's still making a ton of money off of his music. He hasn't dropped any music in years, and he's still got nearly like 1 million monthly listeners. So they're just printing off of the music that already dropped. But that's one example. Another example is this guy called Loverboy, Loverboi, or ILY Tommy. I love you, Tommy. I don't know if he had a different name, but I think those were the two names that he went by. He's a guy that's closer to David in style of music. He's still doing well right now. He's still promoting his music on TikTok and stuff, but he didn't fall into the rap community. He had the same aesthetic as well as somebody like David, and he was doing the exact same thing. He got exposed for talking to girls that were under, and it was spreading, but he wasn't big enough. Like, he wasn't a rapper, so people in rap weren't covering it. It got covered a little bit. Some legal stuff happened, but this guy never got arrested. And he kept pushing. Like, he fell back for a while. He blocked his comment section on IG, deleted a couple of posts. People that mention it, he would block them.
Yeah, with that backpack, he was definitely talking to kids. With a backpack like that, definitely.
So a lot of people that became fans of this, and this happened 5 or 6 years ago. So this happens all the time, and people get away with it. And if you tell the cops nothing's going to happen, people try to expose these two people that I'm talking about, and no legal ramifications ever came of it. The only reason why Tokyo's Revenge fell back is because the public outcry or the public pressure that fell on him, because everyone knew about it in like the hip-hop community. This guy, ILY Tommy, he was more of a like alternative kind of singy songwriter guy, and nobody died like in the case with David. So it was similar to David because David got away with this for so long and nobody even knew about it, and David's way bigger than this Tommy guy ever was, and it didn't stop, or it didn't get so big until the point that somebody passed away. And that's without even mentioning all of the underground rappers.
The dollar sign chain is just the most basic chain ever, bro.
Who have constantly been caught with a situation like this or have had allegations similar to David pre-girl passing away. And of course, they're going to blame him for leaking music because if this guy was an active part of his community, they need to have an explanation for why he's not there anymore. And they can't say, well, he's not there anymore because he's accusing David of X, Y, and Z, because people will look into X, Y, and Z and see that,
it's true. And then they'll see that it's true.
There's a lot of information to corroborate that. So they got to say leaking music because that makes sense to fans. So that was just the first person, and this person has had the most damning stuff. But we actually got information that I haven't seen many people cover from some guy that was homies with him back in the day before he blew up as a singer, and that was the guy that was in his Fortnite clan. So I'm going to play you guys that clip right now from this dude, Barry.
I think most of you all know I've known David for about 3.5 years. And the internet knows a 15-year-old girl was found disconfigured in the front of his car. Can't even say 15 because she was 14 when she passed. For those who don't know, David used to be a professional Fortnite player in the team that I was leading, Limit. Back then, I used to make music on my computer. He didn't have a good computer, so I told him about BandLab, and he started making music, and it completely
Bro, where is this guy, bro? Is this guy like a billionaire? Like, bro, where are you, bruv? Your shit looking clean wherever you at.
popped off. And David, even before and after fame, he's always been a really, really nice person. Like a little bit too nice, like comically nice. And for those who've been following me for a while, you know I used to have this ongoing joke over and over and over again about me dissing on David and us having like fake beef. Literally a year ago today, I posted, "The enemy, no, the enemy is David." And I would always make comments just hating on him because I thought it was funny to portray, you know, I'm jealous of him. It should have been me. And flash forward to today. This is absolutely disgusting. He has known this girl since she was either 11 or 12. That's disgusting. Bro. And he kidnapped her for 1.5 years and then she's found dead. And made a mockery of it by mentioning her name in songs saying, "Oh Celeste, oh Celeste." He uploaded the...
Bro, he was making songs about killing her, bro. he was making songs about killing her.
Romantic homicide music video on her 12th birthday. In the music video, he kills a girl that looks just like her. And in his other music videos, using another girl that looks just like her. A 12-year-old. And he was paying off middle schoolers to not say anything. I had some crazy foreshadowing that I even didn't see. This is utterly repulsive.
So even this guy who was in a clan with him,
Bro is paying off middle schoolers, bro. What type of man is this?
assisted him in starting to make music, which is eventually what blew David out of the water. Like, the guy started making huge hits. He's got multiple songs with hundreds of millions of streams. Well, one song with like almost 2 billion. It's crazy to me when people are like, oh, I've never heard of this guy. Yeah, okay, you have never heard of him. That doesn't mean he's not popular. The world doesn't revolve around you, okay? So sit down in that corner and shut up.
That's something I also feel too. Like, why did everybody say that? Oh, I don't know him. I don't know who he is. It's like, bro, who the fuck cares who you know and who you don't? Who are you, bruv?
Now, moving forward, it goes to show that even this guy had a little bit of an odd feeling towards him, and he knew him for a long time. And this is the thing, people like heard, it's like everyone heard about Celeste. It was an open secret, but nobody's gonna go and investigate and say, yo, is that girl this? Especially someone like Barry, who's not even in LA. He's not from LA. He doesn't know that chick. He doesn't know for her to be missing. And it seemed like once the music career of David took off and this guy went and did his own thing, they just separated, like separation.
Bro was praying to flipping Satan, bro. Bro was singing to Satan there, bro. This is an evil man.
Friendship, you just don't have enough time to spend with each other. So maybe he didn't see him develop, if you want to call it that. He didn't see him morph.
Yeah,
that's a better word. He didn't see him morph into doing the things that we're finding out about right now, because he's just as shocked as the rest of us. But let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. I'm gonna try to keep y'all updated.
Yeah, man. Honestly, disgusting by David, bro. Clearly, that's psychopath behavior. And I don't see how your girlfriend ends up dead in the back of your Tesla, dismembered, rotting away for a whole year without you being involved or knowing what happened. He definitely did something to her. Definitely. That can't just happen, bro. You know? Another theory I was hearing is that maybe somebody tried to frame him. Maybe somebody killed her and knew that it was his Tesla and dumped her in the car or something like that. I don't know, bro. This man's aesthetic seems like he's been mourning a soul that he knows very well what he did with that soul. You know what I'm saying? With the funeral caskets or the funeral aesthetic that he shows, the caskets, with him always talking about, you know, death and killing in his songs. Not always, but, you know, for him to be just so, I don't know, just so invested in her, saying her name in songs, having women that look like her in videos, or girls that look like her, I don't know, because she was 13, 14, so she definitely wasn't a woman. So yeah, man, this is messy, bro. And I just don't understand, why is it that I don't feel like people are angry enough for the fact that he was dating an underage girl. When Andrew Tate said something about, oh, he messes around with 16-year-olds, the world was in a frenzy. But when we just heard this man murdered his girlfriend who was 14, bruv, and he's a grown man of what, 20? What is he, 20, 19, 21? That's crazy, bruh. That is like RIP to her, but yo, the sickening behavior of people these days is crazy. Anyway, like, comment, and subscribe. I'll catch you in the next one. Let go.